Hello, Tiger fans. Thanks for tuning in to a new edition of the Perry Thomas Show here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as we visit with the head coach of Fighting Tiger football. Perry Thomas joins us. Campbellsville on the road this past weekend. They go down to Waleska, Georgia, taking on a top 10 opponent in Reinhardt University. The Tigers come up short, 52-7, the final score. And as coach joins us now, tumultuous couple of weeks. The schedule did not play out in your favor. Maybe anybody could have been better than a top 10 opponent, but you guys have to hit the road, jump right back into it. Obviously, not the result that you hoped for down at Waleska.
No, we knew it was going to be a tough challenge. Certainly, it was great to get back out there and get to playing. You know, we missed the opportunity. We missed a week of practice, basically, when we were shut down for the COVID protocol. And then, you know, you want to play early in the season. You want to break later maybe, but right now you want to be playing football. So it was great to get out there and play. But it was tough sledding going up against a top 5 team, but even tougher with the lack of practice and only having one game under our belt. It would have been nice to have played them after 2 games. So much improvement is made from game 1 to game 2. And I thought we showed some improvement in spots, but it was, you know, tough to show against a team of that quality.
You know, and worth mentioning too, you have a bye week, but even in a bye week, which you're actually on now, even in a bye week, you're still able to practice and do things and rest. This was almost getting prepared after a week coming to a full stop. You don't do that at any point.
No.
You have camp, leads into the first game, and it's constant throughout the season. You're actually at a dead stop. Ever in your career have you had that? No, I mean, we were totally shut down, you know, other than last fall, which we didn't have games in the fall. We were totally shut down, and it is difficult because the meetings you could have, they had to be by Zoom. And yes, Zoom is great. All right, it's great, but it's not like being in person and getting some things done where you can really see the guys and they can see you and you can get the body language and everything else. So we were able to do some meeting stuff, but that was very limited, and you know, it was tough. It was a tough challenge. So, but our guys responded. You know, they came back last Monday and worked, and we had a good week of practice, and we went down there with a great game plan and did what we could to execute it. We just ran into a buzzsaw of a team that, you know, was much better than us right now. And I say right now because there's been times where we started off 0-2 and, you know, won 8 straight and win the league and so forth. So we can get better, and we will get better. But I thought our guys gave great effort in spots. You know, we have still some effort things to improve on. But the big thing for us is we got to just execute better. We have to be more disciplined execution. One thing too, and your thoughts on this, in today's game of football, whether you go to the high school level, college, pro level, whatever it may be, the wide open spread offense is all the rage, and throw the ball 40 times a game. Here you are after a week off, basically going down to Reinhardt, and it's kind of a unique offense in today's day and age. You go back 20, 30 years, maybe the norm. Today, that little wing T style stuff, that's got to be a little more difficult to prepare for.
Oh yeah, that was tough. That was tough for us. And, you know, I always felt like we defensed those type of teams well just because of our background defensively. But it was a challenge, and one of the biggest challenges, obviously, we hadn't seen it. You know, you don't see that style much. But the second thing is we didn't really get to practice against that look. So with so many guys out, so even when we could practice last week, we basically had a 1-2 offense, 1-2 defense, and not much else. So we couldn't get a look. Our scout team, our second and third team defensive guys were running scout team offense for us. So suddenly they're running jet sweep and off tackle plays and different things. And it's not the same look as the offense is running it, and obviously Reinhardt running it. So we had to make some adjustments, you know, going forward from now. But COVID really hurt us with that also, because you got to think we didn't get our linebackers back until Tuesday practice. We didn't get our defensive backs back until Wednesday practice, and we still had a couple of guys that didn't get back until Thursday practice, and a couple of guys still missed the game. So it wasn't like we had a full true week of practice. Now, with all that said, Reinhardt was still better than us, and they did a better job than us.
Certainly hard to get the scout team from your all standpoint to go out there and mimic some of the motions and the misdirection that Reinhardt was going to throw at you. I know their running game was something that it's really been their staple since their program started back with Coach Cronick and his son and different things. Now Coach Miller, they've almost perfected that. They've really got a good thing going there.
Yeah, they're really good at it. They're really good. In the years that we've defensed them well or we've beaten them are years that we have guys that, number one, understand the fundamentals that we're going to play with, and number two, they have the aggression to match up. But it's not like when you're playing some just pass-happy teams. When you play against them, if you're not physical yet, then even if you're not physical yet, you're going to get run over. If you're physical but not fundamentally sound, you're going to get run over. So you have to be able to do that. And as I said, we didn't even have scout teams last week because so many was out. So it was just one of those things, a lot of film, doing the best we could on the field to get it taught, and go down there with a plan and make adjustments. And at the end of the day, they were just better than us right now. But we're going to get better from it. I thought our guys responded well this week in practice so far. I thought our guys responded well on the field. It wasn't like we were shying away. We just have to get better.
One thing that I do want to touch on a bright spot, perhaps you do get Chase Elmore back, a guy pretty local from Hardin County that under center for you guys, and we'll talk with Hunter Brown about him here in just a moment. But you get Chase back, and he and Luke Shepperson have the big connection. That's a tandem that the Tigers certainly hope can grow over the years. But just having that number one, the guy that you've kind of had penciled in throughout the camp there in summer and different things, having him back, got to be a bit of a pick-me-up as well.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought our guys went into the game with some offensive confidence and having, the familiar quarterback back. Meglis has stepped in and done a great job, but Chase started most of last year, and he was the guy that they were expecting to start this year, and having him back certainly settled the offense some. And, it was great seeing him and Luke link up. You're going to see that hopefully for the next 3 years, those guys 3-4 years making those connections, and more to come with that. We got to score more points, though. We got to get back to not necessarily like those 17 days and 16 where we're scoring 50 plus a game, but we need to get to where we're scoring 30 plus a game. And when we do that, I think we'll have opportunities to win games.
Absolutely. Well, the coach of Fighting Tiger football here, Perry Thomas, will step out. We'll come back and we'll visit with Hunter Brown. He wears a lot of hats for this Tiger team. Of course, his name is in the record books many a time, so we'll touch on that as well. So stay with us here on the Perry Thomas Show.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR. It's all good if you think you should check in. Yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
But you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a course online.
You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Myth. I can party with people as long as they don't have symptoms. That myth is false. As we've seen, up to 40% of people who have COVID-19 are asymptomatic and can pass it on to others. So I'd recommend avoiding any social parties, especially indoor ones. If you want to try to socialize but reduce your risk, I'd recommend meeting outside in small groups, continuing to wear a mask, and socially distancing from others if you can. Then together, we can keep COVID-19 out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
Wash your hands, stay home, cover your cough. It's our new reality with COVID-19. The anxiety can be overwhelming. If you're feeling extra worried, you're not alone. You can still contact a mental health professional. They're ready to help you get through this. And remember, prepare, focus on the essentials. Protect, keep some space from people outside your home, and disinfect a lot. Get the facts at kycovid19.ky.gov. Prepare, protect, disinfect.
Welcome back to the Perry Thomas Show. Matt Payton with you here in the WLCU studios as we continue on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. We'll let the head coach out of the hot seat. Welcome in Hunter Brown, quarterbacks coach, passing game coordinator, recruiting coordinator, the former Fighting Tiger. A bit of a do-it-all guy, Coach. Plenty of roles and responsibilities, but here at your alma mater, it's got to be a lot of fun day in and day out.
Yeah, it's a lot different being able to kind of flip the script, you know, going from a player now kind of getting to coach, and now I'm in title roles, kind of lead roles as far as having the recruiting kind of taken over and things like that. But definitely a blessing. Very humble to be able to be back here and coach, entering my third season here full time. Definitely a lot of fun, a little bit of sense of pride being where I went to play at and went to school at. So I'm enjoying it, every moment of it, every day, and the guys are keeping me young. And I'm definitely enjoying my time here for sure.
Too young to be old yet, but we'll give you a few more years coaching, and we'll see how that goes. But, you know, you talked about it, your alma mater, being here now. You get to be out there every Saturday coaching these guys. Talk to me about the quarterback room that you have right now. It's kind of a young room, but Chase Elmore obviously back this week. Josh Meglis, who's seen quite a bit of time filling in, and some guys that we probably haven't even heard their names yet. But walk me through that quarterback room that you have at the moment.
Yeah, we're a young quarterback group. Meglis has seen probably the most playing time. Chase Elmore, he's coming back this year for his second year full time. He's our current starter. There's been a ton of development from his freshman year to sophomore year, especially as a position coach that you want to see. You know, you want to be able to see if they develop year to year, and we're starting to see a little bit of those things from him. Starting to see that he's able to make some decisions quicker. We can kind of put the ball in his hands a little bit more. Don't have to really tell him what to do each play, kind of let him play his game. We do have one other quarterback that's going to be coming up soon. His name's Rennie Prim. He's a left-handed quarterback from Pensacola, Florida. He has a lot of promise, got a nice strong arm, very intelligent. So that's kind of, we are young, but that's kind of where we stand as far as our top three guys right now in the quarterback room.
You know, you get Chase Elmore back last week, but he's had kind of an interesting camp leading up to. You guys thought he was going to be your starting quarterback for game one against Union. Then there's an issue there with the throwing arm. You push him back. Good news comes out of that. So you have him against Reinhardt, but still relatively, you know, hasn't had a lot of reps. He's still working himself back, so it was kind of just like everybody else on the Fighting Tiger football team this past week.
Yeah, no doubt, and it was good to see Chase getting back out there. Definitely had a scare for all of us, for not only him but for us as coaches as well. It's always a scary situation when you're worried about your quarterback. But it was really good, very blessed to hear that nothing was serious, injury was wrong. He's going to be good for the season. It's nothing that he has to get fixed after season either, just some inflammation that was built up in his elbow. So that was good to hear. And there were some things, obviously, that we want to get fixed and cleaned up from the game this past week. But it was really good to get to see him go out there, manage the game, and make some throws. Obviously, there were some mistakes that we'll make sure we get cleaned up. But overall, it was really good to see him get back out there for year two in the first game of this season and do what we asked him to do.
The last 10 to 20 years, phrases or however you want to term it, pass game coordinator, run game coordinator have become more popular. They've started to divide certain things out. Walk me through exactly what the pass game responsibilities are for you.
Yeah, so this is a new role for me. Obviously this year, I don't know if we've done this in the past. I know we haven't in my past 3 years here. We haven't really had that run game, pass game coordinator title. But really all I'm doing, I'm working hand in hand with Coach Pardue on what pass routes work, you know, how we set up against their defense when it comes to what they're doing in the secondary, what we can run offensively in all pass game aspects. And that affects not only our routes, but it affects our protection as well. And we're trying some new things. We're trying to build a solid offense that not only that we feel comfortable with, but the players do too. we're only as good as the players we have on the field, and the players are only as good as how hard we push them to be. So, that's pretty much what it entails. I work a lot with Coach Pardue, our offensive coordinator. He does a tremendous job of letting me be me as a coach. He's not really micromanaging as far as that goes. He's very open to suggestion, which as a coach and as a player, you always got to love to have that support. So, but that's kind of what I do each and every day is spend my time. And a week like this, like Coach Thomas has told us all week, we're using this week to get us better, to work on us. So it's a good week to kind of have some trial and error and focus on some things, clean up some things, and excited to see where the rest of the season takes us.
Let's talk about the recruiting coordinator gig just a little bit here. You are just a few years removed from your playing days, and now you're kind of leading the charge. So you understand the guys that have come through this program the last handful of years, a little more, and the type of talent that you're looking for. Walk me through that recruiting coordinator. How much time do you spend on that a week, and the type of grind that is, making so many connections throughout the state and even the country?
Yeah, it's one thing about college football is it's recruiting is never ending. It is 7 days a week. Whether you're dealing with a recruit, you're dealing with parents, you're dealing with teachers, you're dealing with high school coaches, you're getting to know any and everything about the kid. As far as where I thought we had a really good recruiting class this past year. One thing you'll see on the field this year when you look at our roster is a lot of freshmen. We're young in some spots, but that's due to retention, some things like that we've kind of been able to not control due to COVID and some other things like that. But as far as we move forward with the recruiting, definitely want to be the best we can in recruiting, bring in the best class we can each and every year. The players that I've seen as a player, the players that I've seen as a coach, you always want to try to bring in the best. But one thing that we're trying to emphasize to our staff, and I'm trying to implement, and Coach Thomas supports this as well, is sometimes it's not always about going out and finding the best player. Sometimes it's about finding the right fit. And we've got to make sure we bring in the right players, not only to our positions, but into our team and to our culture as well. So, but as far as, and that goes in, that's just one small detail into recruiting, but it's definitely never ending. It's, like I said, it's 7 days a week, but I enjoy it. You get to kind of choose, or, for lack of better words, pick your roster. So it is exciting to do that. It is exciting when, you bring in a kid and they perform well, and it kind of gives you that pat on your back a little bit. So
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Do you ever take the record book in with you whenever you go to recruit and say, I know what it takes to be successful? All the passing records, you had fun kind of chasing down your buddy Jake Russell, who's now the head coach at KCU, but passing attempts, passing completions, yardage, touchdowns, all those belong to you. That's got to make it a little easier to sell this program. So, guys, I know what it takes.
Yeah, and I try not to play that to all the guys. I really don't try to play that card at all. But when they ask or it comes up, I definitely am honest with them about it. I do play that card, and we joke around about it in my quarterback room a little bit more. They'll give me a hard time about it, and obviously I give them a hard time back. I like to have a good time with them within my room and my guys, so we cut up and joke about it all the time. But I definitely don't try to play that card when it comes to picking up a big-time kid or anything like that, or with anybody really. But if it does come up and they joke around about it, we like to be honest about it. So yeah.
Do you know how many career touchdowns?
I don't off the top of my head. It's funny. Everybody asks me, what was your numbers? There's a couple that I know, just because it was really special moments that I had. But going back and looking on it, I'll see some that my quarterbacks will bring up, and I'm like, man, it's crazy that I did that, just really blessed that I got to have that to look back on. My wife gives me a hard time about it all the time. And so we're very competitive. So, but yeah, I definitely have a lot of good memories here, a lot of good times that I'll always cherish and very blessed to have in my life. So
71. Just in case you were curious. 71.
All right, all right.
2 years as a full-time starter for the Tigers. Coach, thanks for joining us this week. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Hunter Brown, offensive guru for the Tigers here, pass game coordinator. He's recruiting coordinator, former Tiger quarterbacks coach here at Campbellsville University, working under Chris Pardue, now the offensive coordinator for CU Fighting Tiger football. We'll step away. We'll come back. We'll welcome in the head coach, Perry Thomas, for one more segment here on The Perry Thomas Show.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out?
You can say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You can chat with them in VR. It's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at sizetheawkward.org.
The American Red Cross urgently needs blood and platelet donations and asks all healthy donors to schedule an appointment to give now. With the coronavirus outbreak, it is important to maintain a sufficient blood supply. Your blood donation is critical and can help save lives. Please, schedule an appointment today. Download the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. You can make a difference.
I think it's just vapor and flavors. It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
Wash your hands, stay home, cover your cough. It's our new reality with COVID-19. Physicians and public health professionals are trying to protect us because our healthcare system would be overwhelmed if too many people get seriously ill. We have to take their advice seriously. So, prepare, focus on the essentials. Protect, keep some space from people outside your home. And disinfect, a lot. Get the facts at kycovid19.ky.gov. Prepare, protect, disinfect.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
Welcome back. The Perry Thomas Show continues here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton visiting with the head coach of Fighting Tiger Football, Perry Thomas, who rejoins us now. The Tigers have a week off. They've got a Thursday night tilt with Thomas More coming up. Coach, we won't look too much ahead at the Saints, but let's get into preparation and some things. You've obviously missed time. That's well documented at this point with all of the COVID issues. So now you're almost playing catch-up to some degree. You get a bye week, a Thursday game. So you've got a few days here to work on some stuff. Let's walk through what this period of time will look like for Campbellsville University football.
Yeah, so our big focus will be us. You know, we as coaches, we'll start looking at Thomas more, but for the most part with the guys, we will focus on us. So it'll be a great time to make some personnel changes. After 2 games and getting guys back from the COVID protocols, we'll get a chance to mix the lineup a little bit and find out, you know, whom else can go in there and play tight end, or who could go in and play a defensive lineman or 3 technique or whatever, and just play some games with that. Mix up some more competitive drills in practice, you know, some 1-on-1 and 4-on-4, some good old school football stuff, morale builders and pride builders type of deals, and focus on fundamentals, you know, just focus on us getting better every day. And even though Thomas More starts our division play, with a squad like ours, we're going to have to continue to focus on those things the rest of the year. So it's a great time for us to practice as staff, to practice protocol changes, scheduling changes, just to see what works with this group to get us better.
One thing about that too, did you notice a drop-off in conditioning with some of those guys who were in quarantine, unable to do a lot of stuff? How did that conditioning look, obviously going into the game with Reinhardt, and what do you do to combat that moving forward as well?
Yeah, so, you know, most of the guys that came back had obviously had a little drop-off, and, you know, going into the game, we just rotated them more, you know, so that allowed that fatigue not to show as apparent as it would be if they just played most of the reps in there. And then going forward, we'll just, you know, use this week to condition. We'll condition quite a bit this week, more than normal probably, because we don't have a game. And we're going to go this week. We're going to go Monday through Thursday, full practices, getting things done. We'll take Friday off, and then Saturday and will be like our Monday, and Sunday will be like our Tuesday. So we're going to do some football. You know, sometimes on break late in the season, you might give them a day or two break in there. But it's early. We've only played 2 games. We just had a off week 2 weeks ago forced on us. So we're going to do football this week.
You know, it kind of goes back, I think maybe 2019. You had the hurricane, a bye week. It was, what, 3 or 4 weeks between games. So, you know, you kind of get that feeling you're going to have one game within a matter of 3 weeks almost.
Well, and that's what we talked about as a staff. That was 17. That was 17. And, of course, you know, Coach Brown played on that team. And we was talking about it one day, how we went basically 4 weeks without a game. We had a game postponed, a game canceled, then we had an open week. And then we finally got to play. And this year kind of reminds you of that. And fortunately, we got to play against the Reinhardt, but I was scared at one point with so many position groups going down that we may miss that game. And, you know, a team like us, we need to play. Even though we went down there and took an L, we got better in some things, and we need to play. So we need the on-the-field experience and live with the score as it goes.
You know, one thing about it, you know, talking with Coach Brown about some of the recruiting stuff, you know, the Thursday night games gives you an opportunity to get out a little more and see some local talent that maybe you can't when you're still prepping and getting ready for Saturday games, potentially traveling on Friday. So that's one positive thing to that is maybe you've had some extra time to get out and see some of this high school talent.
Well, we've been able to get out on Friday nights and see games. So, you know, the staff has been out each week on Friday nights, even into Tennessee. But we can't really get into any schools because of COVID protocol. So, but getting to games, we've been out, made a ton of contacts so far, but we can't get into schools. Now, one of the downfalls of having Thursday night games is it's hard to get recruits to the game because they're getting prepared for a game the next night. So that's one of the struggles of a Thursday night game. But certainly this Friday night, our guys will be out recruiting. And then next Friday after the Thomas More game, we'll be out recruiting.
You got several home games coming up, and we didn't really get to talk about this thanks to the COVID stuff and pushing back an episode. But that home game, the home opener against Union, nice crowd, Finley Stadium, fully, you know, all that going into it. Maybe had forgotten just exactly what that feels like, but what an atmosphere that was, and hopefully that's the same here coming up on the 30th.
Unbelievable. And you know, certainly you always want to win, but that would have been a great crowd to win in front of, because I think we could have brought that back every week, and hopefully we still do. But it was an unbelievable crowd. It was one of the better ones we've had in a while. It seems like a long time because we didn't get to play last year in front of a crowd. But yeah, that place was rocking. Beautiful setting, beautiful place. You know, it was one moment in the game that I just stopped and looked up at the crowd, and you know, you had the soccer guys out there doing their chants, and everybody was into the atmosphere. And hopefully we'll get that next Thursday. You know, one of the beauties of a Thursday night game is that all the students are still on campus, and very few teams are out playing that night. So hopefully we'll have another packed house setting.
Anything you'll do over this bye week to recharge the battery at all? I know it's still early in the season. You've had some downtime already, but anything to recharge or keep the sanity maybe that the coach likes to do?
No, we'll just grind, you know, keeping my sanity. I'll work out some and grind and drink my Geritol like us old people do, but we'll just keep grinding. And you know, it's too early in the year to be burned out. It's too early in the year to be flustered and so forth. We just we'll go to work. You know, today we got in there early. Practiced early today, and I think I got in the office at like 3:45 this morning. And, you know, you just go to work, and that's what we do. And you don't get burned out when you're doing what you love. I mean, you don't get burned out. We get late in the season, we might need a day, but there's no off days right now.
Coach, good luck this week in preparing. Hopefully everything goes well. You've had enough bad luck already, so hopefully some good luck your way during this bye week. Thomas More visits on the 30th. Coach and I will visit about that matchup next week here on the Perry Thomas Show. A special thank you to Coach Hunter Brown for joining us this week as well. We'll see you next time here on the Perry Thomas Show.